Hey guys, well here she is, quick video down and dirty, 2022 FasTrak SDX 54 with a Kawasaki 691, FX 691, sorry. Yeah, totally digging this so far. The price was right. I saved at least a couple grand from a scag. This is a hell of a mower, man. They've done some nice touches, some nice upgrades on here. I'm just going to go over it real quick with you, and we'll do some other videos down the road. It passed, most importantly, this passed what I call the weekend piss test. So if you remember, I had my brand new Tiger Cat 2 from Scag with the 28 Vanguard EFI. And it sat right here in this exact spot where this Hustler's sitting. And the next day I came out here and I had puddles underneath the wheel motors on each side. I had leakage coming out of the hydraulic pumps, the hydro gear pumps, the hose fittings weren't secure. And then also I had engine oil on the pan on the bottom of the frame. In a nutshell, I was told that the gasket machine at the factory, this is a Briggs Vanguard engine, the robotic gasket bead applier machine ran out of gasket halfway through and there was no gasket material in the crankcase. So engine oil seeped out onto the bottom of the frame and then leaked onto the floor. So you know the story on that. If you don't, there you go. The dealer bought it back, and I've been searching for another zero turn, and it's, you know, it took me 4 scags to realize that scag ain't cutting it. I'm sorry, folks. Maybe it's just me, but after 4 of them having issues with dealers and stuff, it's like, come on, man. All right, so back to the Hustler. This is a hell of a frame. Now let's start with the frame compared to the scag. This does weigh about 200 pounds less than the scag Tiger Cat 2. This does weigh a little bit more than a Patriot, and it weighs about 120 pounds more than the Bobcat ZT3500. So in a nutshell, Kawasaki FX 691, of course, commercial engine, but it's got clean out ports, canister air filter, that's a must. And the hydros are Hydro Gear ZT3400s. Those are tried and true, decent commercial. You can pull little yard carts with it, you know, a couple 100 pounds. You don't have to fret. You can go up slopes, and I mean, it's commercial duty. It's good. It's good enough for my 2 acres of weeds. Anyway, so Bobcat and a lot of the mowers out there have this combination, you know, 3100 hydros with a FX 691. These are the 34s. These are a little bit better in my book. But this weighs about 100 pounds more than the Bobcat. So the metal is obviously more, right? Now, one drawback, or it's not really a drawback, but this does not have the dial seat. This is a suspension seat, and it does have a decent amount of travel. I'll say around 2.5 inches of travel, whereas the one with the dial on the front has a full 3 inches, and it's a more bouncier, cushiony ride. This one's good so far. It does have a nice high back seat as well. That's an upgrade from the SDX compared to the FasTrak. ZT3400 hydros and the FX engine are also upgrades from the regular FasTrak. So the deck, 54-inch toolless guards. They did a lot of changes. It's all blacked out compared to the previous years. They went back to dual tank, so there's a tank on each side and there's a mechanical gauge on each side. If you looked at any Hustler videos online or did any research in the forums, you'll remember that they had an electronic gauge and they were prone to failing. So another cool thing is there's your fuel switch right there. It's accessible. You can just look down, see which tank you're on, and you can change it. The Bobcat was behind the seat. You had to stop and get out or break your shoulder, screw up your rotator cuff just to switch tanks. That wasn't cool. It's very solid deck. I mean, these forks they have to be at least a 1/4 inch thick steel. We've got tie downs here, rubber mat. Just pull that bolt, and then you leave the bolt out. I'll probably leave the bolt out. That way I can flip up the lid if I need to. A lot of people complain, you know, oh, I can't access the deck, you know. Drop the deck, get a leaf blower, and stand right here and blow it out. You don't need to pull out that stuff. Just make sure you get the grass out. Spend an extra minute of time and do it right. Something else of interest, I'm digging the red PTO switch. I don't know, it's just cool. You turn on the key, there's a bright red LED. What the hell is that? It's an oil pressure switch. So the FX 691 right down there has got a sending unit. When the engine's running, it senses the pressure and it satisfies it, and it turns that off. Well, you got low oil pressure and that light comes on, you need to stop and check out your engine. Scag doesn't have that. The Tiger Cat 2 system does not have that. It's an option. I believe it's an option. Maybe it's only on the diesel engines. I could be mistaken. It's been a while. I've been out of the loop, guys. Now, there is a sensor that you can buy to put in the canister, and I do have a filter minder that's going to go right there, but there's an additional sending unit that you can connect to the Scag Tiger Eye that'll tell you when your air filter needs to be changed. But there's nothing with the oil. A dirty filter, you're gonna know. You're gonna see a decline in performance, and you'll probably know it's time. Whereas it's not gonna tell you that you're out of oil and you just lunched your engine. But anyways, cool feature, man. And dual tanks, I just told you, cool feature there. Let's see what else. Let me see if I can pop this one-handed here. Oh yeah, it's solid. It's got a nice metal catch bar there. Oh yeah, you can't see this, but right there, dual USB ports. Apparently people charge their phone while they mow. I'm not that guy, but there's USB ports on board. Cup holder, of course. But check this out. They've got the same wire looms now as Scag, and they're all tie wrapped, and everything looks nice, with the exception of this one. This is a regular, I don't know what it is, but I still haven't done, well, I've done one thing to this, maybe a couple things, and we'll get there. I'll give you the list. This thing ain't out of the woods yet. We did have some problems. But man, under here, look at all the room you've got. The battery is right there. It's a full-size battery. It's not that little dinky battery that comes in the Bobcat. So you can jump it, or whatever you need to do, it's right there. It's readily accessible. You can blow off the fans if you need to get the grass out of there. And look, you got access to the pulleys from up here. It's got these little Excel Industries. If you know the deal, Black & Decker, Stanley Black & Decker bought out Hustler and MTD, I think. At least something I read on GIE forum. But anyway, so it's made well. Those are little dampers adjustments for the arms. These arms are solid. They're very similar to Scag. They're not going anywhere. The Bobcat, they took this tube and they squished it down, and then they drilled holes. And it's kind of flimsy. I think if you use this to grab onto to get on and off, over time that could fatigue on the Bobcat. Whereas this is metal, it's solid. You see the welds in there, and then painted, and then you can adjust it too. You can raise it so if you can lower the arms up and down. Transport lock is right there. Pin system, magnetic pin system, armrests. Check it out. We've got reservoirs, one for each hydro. Hustler's still doing external reservoirs. I love it because you can see the level of the fluid and you can see the color of it. And sometimes if you've got a hydro that's going to be a problem child, you can just glance down and look at the condition of the fluid and the color. So I still like that. Fuel filters right there. You know the deal with the Kawasaki. Something else of interest here on the Kawasaki, you notice that metal oil drain tube. Hustler does that. They pull the damn plastic one off and they put a metal one on there. That's friggin' awesome. All right, what else can I tell you about this real quick? Oh, commercial duty, of course, comes with like this built-in little trailer hitch, and these are all laser cut back here. Laser cut, built-in hitch. Big bite tires, they're 11 inches wide. These are monsters. The Tiger Cat had 9.5-inch wide tires, so combined, you've got 3 inches more traction, 3 inches more surface area to prevent you from sliding. I mean, it doesn't say you're not going to slide, but you got 3 more inches of peace of mind, we'll call it. So overall, so good. The deck is stout, man. The deck is nice and thick. It's got internal baffling inside, built in. I mean, the anti-scalping wheels are adjustable, 3 positions, and they're supported on both sides. And you got some monster reinforcement on this deck. Those forks are giant. I mean, it's legit. Armrests, we're gonna pull these off with toolless pulley covers there. It's got a little bumper here on the side that's replaceable. These are not run flats. Not many of them are. I thought about Tweels, but I don't think they make them in the side. Oh yeah, check it out. They've got a flex fork option, about $300. You can replace these and they have suspension built in to the forks. I've been reading on it. Some guys are having some issues. Apparently there's a break-in process with them, and that it screws with your deck leveling. So you got to let those forks break in and then re-level the deck. So kind of weird, but hey, it is what it is. What else can I tell you? All right, let's go to the problems. Let's go to the issues. I've got some video clips. I may add them in a future video. I may add them to this one, but I'm just going to tell you the ROPS. I had issues with the ROPS, the rollover protection, right? So it's in a down position and it's locked in a down position. These pins right here, there was so much, the paint was flaking off in there. It's not focusing. There you go. Paint was flaking off in there. And these are two pieces that are welded, and one piece was just slightly off. So what happens is when you fold this up, these two tabs go down into these two slots. So you've got 1, 2, 3 holes, and then you've got additional 2 more. So that's 5 holes that this pin has to go. And they got to be dead nuts straight. And this pin had some gouges and nicks, and that thing did not want to go smooth at all. So I came up with a crazy way to sand this down, to get a tool to go in there, sand it down, and then I sanded these pins and put a little bit of grease on there, and works like a champ. I pulled all these bolts off, and I checked, make sure everything was smooth in here, and just torqued them up and equally, and man, now we're ready to go. So both sides are set, and let's see what else. Oil pressure, oil levels, hydros, engine, and tire PSI, tire pressure. Cold fill line is down here. That's right on the money. So is this side. You've got visible oil, and it's showing a level, and it's in the right it's in the right spot. The engine is ever so slightly overfilled. I'm not going to discount it, because it's like there's the fill line, and then there's like full that says the word full right after the line, and it's on the F. So I'm not going to sweat that. My scags came bone dry. I had bone dry reservoirs. Oh man, battery terminals were loose. I better check these before I say anything. Yep, they're good. And again, I'm going to tidy all this up with some tie wraps and stuff a little later. This looks like it's pretty close, but I can fit my hand right under. There's plenty of room, but I'm still gonna tie wrap that. Last thing you need is a fuel line going into a fan. So tire pressure. These tires are a little different than the Skags. The PSI in the rear, don't quote me, I think it was 8 to 10 PSI and 25 on the front on the Skag. Hustler says 8 to 12. 8 to 12. So we'll see. And what do they have in there? They've got 15 right now. So a little out of range. Maybe it's their transport PSI, because maybe they project that these are going to sit at the distributor and a dealer for a little bit, so they put them a little high, and maybe they'll lose over time. I don't know. But they're not like 40. What did I have in a Skag? I had like 25 in the back and 40 up front, or something ridiculous. All the stuff that should have been caught at the dealer for PDI, not all Skags, but most of my Skags were just ridiculous, man. Now, PDI, to my knowledge, this didn't have much of anything. Like, they come over here and they put the seat on, they connect the battery terminal, they check the oil, whatever. Very minimal PDI on these. Matter of fact, I've got some papers inside, and they didn't even check the damn things off. I'm sure they did a PDI, because it looks like they obviously they put it together. It's assembled, right? But they didn't fill out any paperwork, so that raised a red flag. But obviously they did it, they just forgot to sign it. But still, record keeping, if you're a dealer and you're PDI and you want to cover your ass, that should be priority number 1. But hey, who am I? I don't own a dealer. What else? One bolt, yes. I think it was this one. This bolt right here was sticking out. The threads were sticking out. Other than that, if you remember my Tiger Cat video, there were lots of loose bolts on both sides. Oh man, it's just, like, what the hell? And wasn't a dealer thing, but then again it was, because if they look over that thing, if you spend any time with a mower just looking at it and looking around, just visually inspect. I'm not asking to put a torque wrench on every bolt, but visually inspect, and if you can see, obviously, the nuts or loose, or the bolt's sticking out. Maybe it's stripped, maybe something's binding, maybe the lunch bell rang and they left it and they took off, they came back and they forgot. You know, that was ridiculous on the scag. On this one bolt. So is it a seat manufacturer that put this bolt in the bracket? Or, you know, do they come from the seat manufacturer and they get shipped and then Hustler just bolts it to their plate? Who knows? But so far, so friggin' good, man. I've got 1.2 hours on it. No, it's upside down. But man, friggin' digging it. It's got the combo I need as far as engine and hydros. Yellow's not my color, but hey, man, it's, you know, it's a Hustler. I've read nothing but damn good things about Hustlers. Just trying to find a dealer was kind of not so much a pain, but there weren't any, you know, readily accessible. I had to drive about an hour anywhere I go. And I'm right here in Austin. The ones that were in Austin were strange. And, you know, I put out that video last year, buying a mower. And now it's, you know, with COVID, on the tail end of COVID, at least this variant, things are opening up, stuff's becoming more accessible. The prices have skyrocketed. MSRP on this one is $10,899. There's promo prices floating around, and now we're going into the 23-year models. According to Hustler, they're not going to change anything on this. This basically is a 22-23. Now, 23 Hyperdrive, Super Z, and ones and all those, they did change this front plate. The forks are black. Where it says 54, there's a plate, like almost a diamond plate thing. It's a step-on plate, and that's etched with the size of the deck. There's a few minor changes, but as far as Hustler said on the phone, this 23 is going to be unchanged. But man, there's parts pretty much everywhere for this. I'm looking forward to mowing with it. I haven't even engaged the clutch yet. I haven't mowed with it because, like my previous mower, it sat overnight and it just leaked all over the place. Shame on you, Scag. But yeah, Hustler, this is very promising. Yeah, very tasteful mower. Great combination, great price. The promo price on this, I think, was 94 or 97, 94, 97. So, you know, since it's end of year, if you can find a Hustler dealer that's got a 22-year model, they might work with you like they did with me. And I think it's a heck of a mower. So I definitely saved a lot over the scag and can't wait to mow. So I said this video would be quick, and we're coming up on 20 minutes, but I know you guys, some of the guys and gals that are subscribed to my channel purely for lawn mowing, zero turn, and ranting and raving stuff, want to know what I'm going to get next, or what I'm going to rip a new one next on, or, you know, they've been waiting for this video. And I should get a second YouTube channel, maybe call it Zero Turns Exposed or something, you know, not throwing anybody under the bus, but if you give me a mower in a crate, or you drop off a mower, I'll give you my straight up honest opinion, and I'll find something. I'll find something wrong, I guarantee you. But this one, like I said, survived the piss test, no leaks, one bolt on a seat, and the pin, and this wasn't even Hustler's fault. That's made by Full Vision, this ROPS. So Full Vision, you know, got a little wonky with the tolerance here, but you know, I spent a little time, made it right, made it jello spec. So we're still going to do some finishing touches on here. I'm not going to like ceramic coat it or anything like GCI Turf. I think that's his name, Pete. He's an awesome dude, man. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Look forward to more videos. And you know me, if something happens with this, if there's a problem, you'll find a video on it. So I'll keep you guys posted. Hope everyone's doing well. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.